Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. It is about just after 4 o'clock on Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Hope everybody's doing great. Have a good week so far. So this is kind of a continuation. The last video I made that's on the channel is the last one I made a few days ago was on cluster charts or footprint charts. And if you haven't seen that, you can go back and look at it. This is another tool that you can use either on its own or in conjunction with the cluster charts. So I'm going to just do this video just using this on its own. I don't really want to overlay the cluster charts that I did in that video on here because it gets very confusing because the cluster charts is actually software that at least the version I have, that overlays the underlying price chart, and it's just really confusing. And quite frankly, you could actually build a strategy just around this. And so I wanted to show you this. So this is called Volume Profile. And again, there are many sources of this software. And in fact, if you have TradingView, which I'll show you, TradingView actually has it built in. So if you have a paid TradingView account, you already have access to this. I find this version that you're looking at on the screen right now to be a little bit better because it provides more detail in my opinion, but you can adjust the TradingView one to pretty much look like this. But this is a paid version, so I'm not asking you to go out and pay for anything. I don't have any association with this. I don't have any, I'm not any way tied to it. Much like the cluster charts, I just found this and I'm trying this out for a month or so. But like I said, it's in TradingView too. But unfortunately, you're not going to find it, in MetaTrader 4 or 5. And so I have this. What you're seeing right now is running on my futures platform. This is again with AMP Trading. This is what I discussed in my last video. This is kind of the underlying futures contract for, in this case, you're looking at the pound dollar. This is not the spot market, what you trade the regular pair on. This is the futures version. However, it moves pretty much tick for tick with the underlying contract, so you can use it for analysis using this indicator and then, trade off your regular Forex account. So let's look at this a little more. So basically what you're looking at here is volume by at different price levels. Okay, this green line right here represents what's called the point of control or POC line, and this represents where the bulk of the volume in this time frame, we're on a 1 hour chart, is contained. And you can see, these are called nodes, where this is measuring actual volume, so the number of contracts in this case being bought or sold at particular prices. So this is 125.81. There's a lot of action right there. So this POC line will adjust and change over time as the point of control changes, as these volume levels change. And in real super simple theory, the idea is that you trade from areas of low volume to higher areas of volume, with the POC line is going to be in between there. Okay, so it might sound confusing, but so this tan line right here represents the low end of the value of this node area, which is right here. Okay, where it turns red. This is about where it's considered to be, where the volume really starts to drop off, and it goes really far down here. And then the tan line up top represents the high end. Okay, so theoretically, price is moving up here. You can see originally that we had way back here in mid-May, we had price bottom out, and this was the low end of the volume. It's now rallied all the way up, okay, and reached the current POC, and it's right in that area right now. Okay, and it looks like it's trading through there. If this continues up, look what happens when you get all through here. Look how thin the volume is here. There's very, very little volume here. And what that's going to mean is if price trades up through here, it's going to not really have not much to stop it. And it's going to rally probably right all the way through here, and it's not going to run into any real resistance until it gets up to the 130.20 area and all the way up to this upper boundary level here at 131.57. Okay, so that's the theory, is that you trade when price gets into these low level areas, okay, and you buy from the low levels and you sell from the high levels back to ideally back to the POC level. Okay, now in this case we rallied all the way from here to the POC level, so now we're sitting in that area now. So this is a really important area to see what price does from here. But my bias here is to the upside, just in general, just by the chart patterns. But you can see prices had already rallied all of this way from this low area down here all the way up here, and now of course, previously this line was probably down lower, and again, these lines are dynamic. They'll change over time as price changes. So as prices come up and the volume has shifted, it'll update this POC line, and it'll update the what's considered kind of the entry into the value area, okay, which is the beginning of this red area. So really, anything from here down would be, a buying opportunity. And so that's what happened here. Price came up, and then we retested this area again, and now we've rallied back. And we're sitting right near the POC line. So use this in conjunction with other things, but I'm leaning towards a buy on this pair, and to essentially hold on to it all the way up to here. Okay, so if we look at that on a... so now let's go to Trading View. So now here is the underlying spot Forex. So this is your regular pair, and you can see it looks just the same. Now their bars are different colors and stuff, but it's essentially the same, right? The POC line is basically in the same area, and you can see you have this area all the way up to here. So we're talking about from where it is now, 400 to maybe even up to 550 pips or so from where it is now, potentially, that this could go. And you can see the Trading View version. I adjusted this a little bit because the way this defaults, their bars, the bars are a lot thicker. There's fewer of them, but they're very clunky. So I just went into the settings of the indicator, and I changed this. I think it defaulted to 20, and I changed it to 100. I guess you could theoretically make it whatever you want. I also don't really like seeing... it's hard for me to see the candles through here, so I'm probably going to try to adjust the visibility, because you can see a lot of the price is stuck underneath these bars. So, although I guess, you could just scroll over this way. So anyway, but it's basically the same thing. And these don't really show you the value areas per se, the way the MT5 version does, the way this does. So that's why I just like this one better. But this is a paid indicator. And just to show you really quick, again, if you're looking for this one, it's again, this is an MT5 chart. You go to mql5.com, which is the marketplace for MetaTrader 5, and you go to the indicators, or you just go to your market. You just go to market, which is right up here. I know it's cut off a little bit on my screen view here, but you go to market, and then you just type in volume profile. All right, type in volume profile, and it's this one right here. Okay, and I can tell you, and again, I know you can't see the price. It's $165 for this, for a lifetime license, and you can rent it for $30 a month. So I'm renting it for a month just to try it out. But the site's really good. It gives you kind of the whole, these are all the settings within the indicator, what they default to and what you can change them to. And it gives you a little synopsis of everything here. So you can kind of see what the indicator does. All right. And if you scroll down, this is basically what I was just telling you. So you have the point of control in the middle where 70% of all the volume is. That's the green area. And then ideally, or theoretically, you're going to buy from anywhere in this red area. So when price gets down, if it makes it down to this red area, you're going to look for buying price action, and you're going to basically trade it back to the point of control line. Okay, And this would be basically your first profit target. So if this was an actual live market, be looking for a buy somewhere in here, and if you got it, you'd be trading it back to this POC line, and this could kind of be like your first target. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily exit here, but this would be your first target wherever that POC line is at the time. But then you could always you could get out there, or you could trail a stop and let it keep going, because much like what we see here on the pound dollar, the price has gotten to the POC. Now we've actually traded through it a little bit. And if this continues, again, with the volume being so thin in here, there's really nothing to stop this from just keep going up, up, up until we get up here, where we probably begin to see more selling pressure up in this area, and certainly once we get up into this red area. Okay, and this was a definite sell zone. So you can look at the point of control line as like your first profit target, and in this case for an uptrend, this second line, this upper boundary line, is kind of your long-term profit target. And again, you don't necessarily have to hold the trade. This is a long way. This is a 1 hour chart, and this is 400 or 500 pips, so this is several days of price action. So depending what your time frame is for trading, you might not hold it this long, but if you're a swing trader, you certainly could hold this. And so again, ideally you want to have gotten back into this here, traded up to the POC, which we did. Right through here we traded, we came back again into the red area, and then we've rallied off it again back to the POC line, which we've now kind of broken through again. And again, if this is, to me, is a pretty bullish setup to begin with. We have to move up, a little correction back to this previous value line, and now we're moving up again. So I look at this as a pretty bullish setup to begin with, and so that's kind of my bias on it. Okay. So again, that's basically how it works. You have your high value area, your low value area, and your POC. And, you can really just almost trade. And of course, you can do this on any time frame, guys. This is a 1 hour chart. I mean, you could trade this off a 15-minute chart if you're looking for intraday swings. You have to zoom out your chart as appropriate to make sure you see both lines, because if you zoom in too much, it might cut off one of these lines, and you need to see this whole histogram. So that's why this is zoomed in pretty far right now, so that I can see this top line. And also I just shrunk the chart up a little bit so I don't lose visibility to this upper area right here. Okay, but again, guys, you can do this on any time frame. Obviously, like most things, I think the higher you go up, the more reliable it'll be. But like I said, you can day trade off of this, you can swing trade off of it, you can probably position trade. Okay, so again, if you have TradingView, you can already get this, and you don't have to pay for it. Obviously there are paid versions of TradingView, but you just go to indicators, and what is this thing called? VR. No, you can't see it. So let me just type it in here. Volume profile, and it's this one right here. Visible range volume profile, VRVP. Okay, when you put it on your chart, I know you can't see it, but off to the left here it says VRVP, number of rows 100, up, down 70, and the 70 is that 70% of the volume. So if you go into your indicators search box and you just start typing in volume profile, it's this one right here, visible range volume profile. Okay, and then that'll put it on your chart, and then you can go into here, and again you can adjust this however you want, the number of rows, the row size, etc., the value area volume, which defaults to 70. I just leave it at that, and then you can play around obviously with the colors if you want, and the POC line, and the value areas up and down, etc. Okay, so however you want to do it, and of course the visibility, what time frames you want to see it on. All right, so there's two ways to do it, guys. All right, if you have MetaTrader 5 and you want to get a good version, but one you have to pay for, you can go to Marketplace here and find it. Now there are free versions on here, like this one here, but I didn't install this because when you open it up, I don't know what language this is, but I figured, you know what, I'm not going to put this on here because I'm not going to be able to follow it anyways because it's in a foreign language, and I don't even want to guess what language this is. Something European, but I really don't know. So I just skipped that one. And you know, I found this one that oh, I keep losing that page. Volume profile. Okay, and so this is the one I ended up picking. Okay, which is, again, is $165. You can see US dollars to buy the full version of it, or like I said, you can rent it for a month if you wanted to try it. It's $30, or $45 for 3 months, or you can just buy it outright and have it for good. $165, and I think you can put it onto 5 activations. So I think you can put it on up to 5 devices. So if you have more than one computer, which I do, I have my platform on 2 different PCs, then you can certainly, you know, put the indicator on both PCs. You don't have to, you know, pay for it again. All right. So, but the key again, guys, is it's volume profile. It's pretty cool. I'm going to be playing around with this, and on this futures contract, on this futures platform. The main 3 that I'm looking at is the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, and euro dollar. Those are the 3 that this futures broker has that really mirror the underlying spot Forex the best. So I'm really restricting it to those 3 pairs. So it's just another potential entry method that I use in addition to my you know, my regular trading that I do. On my regular Forex account, which is basically using the 50-period EMA channel that I made a video on a couple of days ago. So this is just another way of entering trades. So this is my primary. Oops, where'd it go? So this is still how I'm primarily entering trades is with this setup. You know, using this 50-period channel. And it's very successful, but I'm trying this out just on these 3 pairs and using this volume profile. I'll play around with it and see if there's any value to doing this as a day trade or if this is something more, you know, a position trade. But I really like this setup right here. This does look like a very bullish setup, and there's, like I said, not really much to keep this if this holds true. You know, to really have this go up. Now, we might see the volume build inside of here as price goes up. There might be sellers start positioning in here, and we'll see this POC line adjust up with it. But again, you know, based on what it looks like right now, I think there's plenty of room to run to the upside, and this does look like a pretty bullish setup. Again, we had this bullish move up, corrective move back to this value area, rejected right off of there. Back to the point of control line, breaking through there now, and so I'm looking at this to continue up on this pair. Okay, so anyways, guys, volume profile indicator, really interesting. Check it out. If you can find one on, you know, somewhere else that you don't have to pay for that actually works, I would definitely, you know, check it out. If you have TradingView, if you happen to be a TradingView user, it's in there. Again, VRVP is what it's called. The visible value, easy for me to say, visible volume profile. Okay, and that's what this is called. And it pretty much is going to show you the same thing. It's just not as pretty as this one, I don't think. So, but it's free if you have TradingView, so that's nice. And it's basically going to show you the exact same deal. All right, guys, so I will leave it there. Appreciate you watching. Any questions, comments, drop them down below. Please hit that like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're just finding the channel, ring that subscribe button down in the lower right corner, and ring that bell notification below so you get notified when I post a new video. And I'll keep you updated on this as I experiment with it and see if it's worth it. Like I said, I'm going to play around with this for a month because I have it for a month. And I'll see if it's something that I may want to keep longer term as an additional strategy or as a supplement to using my regular methodology, at least on these 3 pairs. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you very soon.